Right then, I'm back in the office, and it ain't good news, so calm yourselves. It's not good at all. United are in for Saner Berge. What year is it? So, Saner Berge, Burnley's Saner Berge. Make it make sense. Why are we probably selling McTominay to buy a worse version of McTominay? Burnley are prepared to sell. I bet they're prepared to sell. Unless it's for about 3 million quid, why would Manchester United be entertaining this? It doesn't actually make any level of sense on any level. Why? This does not take the squad forward. You can't convince me that it does. He's a functional, not great on the ball, bang average Premier League midfielder. We've got that in Scott McTominay. Why would you sell Scott McTominay and bring this in? That is the most unambitious signing I've ever fucking seen. I would rather Amrabat than him. Now, I know that someone said to me the other day, yesterday, you said Ugarte was nailed on. Not once have I ever claimed to know what the fuck was going on with Ugarte. I said, I think actually United are going to get Ugarte. It looks like it's quite straightforward. I actually still think we're going to get Ugarte. You can't believe everything you hear in the press. United have decided that they're not willing to pay how much PSG have paid. Okay. Does that mean that United are done? Or does that mean it's potentially a negotiation tactic from United with Ugarte? Because that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Also, United are in talks with PSG over Jadon Sancho. So there's a fucking game to be played here, isn't there? Surely. In my opinion, there is. There is a game afoot here. Now, that doesn't mean that we're in for him. That doesn't mean we're not in for him. That just means there's a game afoot. Now, Saner Berge, it's a non-exciting signing, isn't it? If that's who we're in for. Now, Ornstein has come out and said Ornstein has been sensational in this window. He is the MVP of this window. He said United have switched the midfield search away from Ugarte and onto other options. Don't intend to meet the €60 million fee and will only revisit if the price drops. No progress yet. Talks cooled and exploring other top targets for the right deal. And I think this is the right thing to do. Like, they've just signed the top target for not far off the similar sort of prices they want with the target that they're trying to get rid of. If you want to get rid of someone, you have to make concessions when it comes to the fee, in my opinion. Talks have cooled, they've not ended. Is my understanding of that. McTominay to Fulham has been declined, so Fulham made a bid of around about 20 million for McTominay. United are holding out for somewhere in the region of 25. Supposedly, West Ham are willing to meet the demands for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, according to Laurie. West Ham seem like they're prepared to pay 18 million for him, but United need to agree the exit package. Does that mean we're paying him a wage still? I don't know what that means. And then in wider football news, Atletico Madrid have reached an agreement with City to sign Julian Alvarez for 95 million euros, including add-ons. It's a record club sale for City. And personal terms are expected to be quite straightforward. That's insane, isn't it? How have City managed to flip that? City are genuinely very good, unless they just lie about how much they sell their players for, and everyone's like, yeah, so you want, not asked. Isn't it a madness? What are you guys saying in the comments anyway? Let's see what this is going. We've got a comment here. I just lost my chat, which says, Steve, I think it's best for United to be smart with finances than going for big signings at the moment. Our situation requires us to build a squad first, then push for a few prize players. I totally agree with you on that one. However, Saner Berge for McTominay doesn't make the club in a better position at all. It would be better for us to, unless this is some sort of a shell game with FFP, why would you lose McTominay and bring in Berge? You know what you're getting with McTominay. There is a level of doubt whether Berge could even do what he does at Burnley at United. Rico Man says, Saner Berge is better than Anton Stack that you made an 8-minute video for. Well, that's where you're fucking wrong, mate. By a lot. CTB says, I know why, because FFP you can claim the profit and then spread the cost of replacement over years. That's the only thing that I think makes any level of sense whatsoever on this, because the transfer and where it leaves us as a squad doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. Sean says, so what? So what? We want more of these exciting signings like Anthony Sancho, etc. The new board knows what they're doing. That's fine. I can have an opinion though. Hence, I have a whole channel dedicated to my fucking opinion. My opinion is Saner Berge is not a good signing for Manchester United. He certainly does not improve the starting 11 in any way, shape, or form. So I question the signing. Ramon says, if we can't get Ugarte, we definitely have to go all in on Rabiot. I mean, Rabiot's still not a 6, really. He's someone who can play on a deeper line, but generally with another player who plays deeper, and Kobe Mainoo is not that guy. Hence why I did a video this morning looking at Anton Stack. AY says, Angelo Stiller at Stuttgart looks good and should be a cheap option. This is the thing. There are cheap options out there. RAT says, I think we need 2 midfielders, a 6 and someone to alternate with Mainoo. I agree. Joshua Owen says, Saner Berge isn't better than Stack. Thank you. Peter Knight says, I've always wanted Zubimendi. He looks class. I just think you need someone with a bit more grit in midfield in the Premier League. Like, Mainoo and Zubimendi would be a brilliant ball-playing midfield. It really would. But, like, United get murdered on the transition. How that midfield stops that, it doesn't for me. And that's what I think needs fixing. Juice Wilson says, I think United need to move quickly on a 6. Yeah. And Zuzo says, Steve, have you heard the news about Manu Kone's representatives offering him to United for about 30 million? Think he'd be a neat addition. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Alex says, don't get my Norwegian countrymen into our team. Timothy says, Steve, how are you doing? Out of context here. Oh, here we go. What happened to the video last time? I believe, I'm not going to do it, but I did a thumbs up on screen, and because it's a Mac, it has emojis embedded into it, and when you do that, it decides to pop one of them up on the screen, and then when you do that, it freezes the camera, and I think that's what happened. What was the second point that you made? There was 2 points there, wasn't there? And 2, who do I think is better between Slot and Ten Hag, considering how they both did in Holland? Well, considering how they both did in Holland, Ten Hag won a comfortable 10% more than him. Not 10% more. It was 74% versus 64% or something along those lines. So I think it's quite clear. Mike says, Fofana and Ugarte would be fine. Fofana isn't even that expensive. It's just whether he's going to Milan or not. Andrew says, Wan-Bissaka wants his contract value. Sounds like West Ham won't pay his current wages, so the exit package is us covering the difference in a one-off payment or us helping to cover it. Fuck's sake. How do we manage to do that? Salia says, if we're walking away from Ugarte because of his price, I don't think we'll even attempt a Zubimendi, probably. Rico Man says, City signed Ake from Bournemouth and signed Grealish from Villa. I don't know what point you're trying to make there, mate. Yes, they did, but those were good footballers. Like, you cannot compare Saner Berge to either of those players. He's just not that good. It's not. You can get good players from relegated sides. You absolutely can. And I used to say for ages, you can go and improve Manchester United by going to teams in the bottom half of the table. You absolutely can do that. But Saner Berge's not one of the players that would do that. Dennis says, probably the only position where you can't skimp on quality, we skimp on quality. Super Bacon Craft says, Steve, why do I think we have so many injuries? Do I have any ideas of what could be the causes? No, nothing of insight. Only, bro science, really. Why do I think we get more injuries? I think our training methods have increased. And listening to an excellent podcast, my mate Tom sent me a podcast with a strength and conditioning coach, I think who was at Bristol, right? And this guy had worked at plenty of places before. He gets to Bristol, and let's say the level of the players is down here, and he goes, oh, I want to get them up here like this. So he implements a training program which is a lot more intense. And the thing with more intense training can often lead to injuries because the body doesn't acclimatize to it. It's almost like you have to have, and listen, I am a fucking walking embodiment of this because I still think I'm 19 and in shape in my head, and I ain't. So when I get back into doing any level of fitness, I go fucking straight to redlining it, ping something, get injured, and then don't work out for another 2 months. I am the walking embodiment of that exact fucking thing, although it can still happen in elite footballers. They are running at a certain level. They are used to a certain amount of load. And then when someone tweaks that and it goes a little bit more intense, things start popping off. So I think what probably happened is, if you remember under Jose Mourinho, Manchester United had the lowest high-intensity run time and pressing in the fucking league. Do you remember that? I think what's happened is, since Ollie came in and suffered some injuries himself, and also Ten Hag has come in, and Ragnick to a certain degree, they've all come in and gone, this team needs to work harder. And because the team needs to work harder, the fitness has gone through, and it's probably resulted in some injuries. But not all of them. I mean, some of them have just been pure fucking unlucky. When Souček lands on Lisandro Martinez's knee, that's nothing to do with how many games he's played this season. That's nothing to do with the level of intensity. That's a big fucking lump has landed on his knee, and his knees give way. How'd you account for that? And Rage says, Andre Onana said we're going to play more risky this year. What are my thoughts on him saying this publicly? I like it. Robert says, what's the latest on the Ugarte deal? PSG trying to apply the United tax. I think they want what they paid for him, I think is the long and short of it. So I think they want what they paid for him, and United are saying, well, you know, he's not worth what you paid for him no more. You want rid of him, so that's one of those. Lewis says, I doubt how interested we are in Berge. If we are, hopefully it's a secondary midfielder and far down the list behind Rabiot and Amrabat. Yeah, that's possible, I guess. Thoughts on Gay going to Newcastle? It's a good signing. I think he'll do well there, actually. That's a pretty good signing for them. Chibo says, isn't Saner Berge a 6 and McTominay's an advanced state who plays progressive passes are worse somehow playing for United compared to a player playing for Burnley? Kufal, sorry, yeah, not Souček, my bad. But they kind of do the same fucking job. And yeah, I don't know. But ultimately, I don't think he's an upgrade on McTominay. Even if he's playing in a slightly different position than McTominay has been deployed in, it's the same fucking level. Mark says, did I see United trying to implement a style of play on tour? Don't press, can't keep the ball, and not very good on the counter 2 years in. Right. Did you fucking watch the tour? Because that's not true, is it? The press was fucking good, actually, at times. And you could see United moving the ball well. Did you watch the fucking Liverpool game? Did people just look at the score of the Liverpool game and go, United got twatted, here's my thoughts on how it went. Shabazz says, what's the drink I'm having as a sub for a Red Bull? Am I missing Red Bull? It is this. It's not a sponsor, but it's this. It's called Optimize. And most importantly, 0 sugar. So I'm having this, and I'm having this like 2-3 times a day. It's about a third as much caffeine as is in a Red Bull. So there's still some caffeine in it, but there is no sugar in it. And am I missing the Red Bull? When I'm really tired, I could feel like I need one. But yeah, I'm doing all right on it, to be honest. I'm quite enjoying not having one. Ozzy says, imagine we have another striker injury crisis and we have to play 16-year-old Obi Martin. Well, he's a big old unit, so we might get away with doing that with him in that instance. Jay says, afternoon, Steve, 21 is coming, our kid, and you can twit it too. I probably won't twit it. Thanks. Phil says, it's a pre-workout. No, it's a focus and stimulant, so I don't actually know what to categorize it as. It's for gaming or driving on a track, office work, or where heightened focus is required. So a similar kind of vibes. It's not an energy drink. Certainly don't get any sort of energy drink from it, but it's a shitload of nootropics and a bit of caffeine. So it's like vitamins and caffeine, and it's doing the fucking job getting me off the Red Bull. So 1-0. Ultra TV says we must sign De Ligt with immediate effect. Absolute priority. I think so. Andrew says Berge is a holding midfielder and McTominay is absolutely not that. He's definitely not the dream signing, but it's swapping a position we don't need for one we do for the cheap. Maybe. Right, yeah, you're right. Currently, McTominay at Manchester United is like an off-the-bench 10, 9.5 that's getting flung in to try and impact a game. Prior to this season, McTominay very much was a 6 or an 8. Deep lying, and when you go to the Etihad away, he's going to sit in and screen the defence. That's exactly what he did. And I think when you look at the skill set that Berger's got, he's not he doesn't take our style of play forward. He doesn't suit that style of play. It's just a weird Simon. Shobit says we should have signed Sabitzer last year, permanently used the money wasted on Mount Ugarte and Arnott. It's good. Yeah, good point. Andrew says gaming, driving on a track, or office work. All these are comparable. Well, it's focus, isn't it? Jed's Dead Baby says, don't ask me why, but I have a weird feeling City might go off the rails this season. If City go off the rails, it's handing the title to Arsenal, because United won't be anywhere near it unless we are fucking extremely lucky, and guess what, we're not. Liverpool are going to fall off hard this season, and Tottenham and that I don't feel like they've got a title in them. This really could be Arsenal's year, you know. And Zuzo says, are there any vacancies at Stretford Paddock? No, we are running a internship drive at the moment on LinkedIn. If you would like to get involved, there's all sorts from different sports management roles to analysis to coaching to whatever you want to do in football. We can help, but there are no paid roles currently going at the moment. Dwayne says, I wonder if Mount will stay fit this season. See what the hell we paid 50 mil for. I thought he looked pretty good on the tour, pretty good on the tour. Super Bacon Craft says, I saw the Liverpool match, kind of felt like some bad habits of last season still there. At a certain point in the match, we just forget we're playing football, and also the plan, we lose focus. They need some of this then, don't they? They're losing focus. You also got to remember, I saw people going, Liverpool didn't have like 8 first-team players. And you're like, wait, United had at most 3 first-team players in the team. United were missing our entire back 4, our entire midfield, and our strikers. We had a keeper and our wingers, and you can argue Ahmad's not even first choice. In Time You Will Find says, to get title, we need 6 or 7 transfers with players leaving. Is that going to happen? Not this fucking window. Shadske says, have I tried New Tonic? Sounds like it's similar to what you're replacing Red Bull with. Might be worth a try. I've never heard of it either. Nathan says, have I seen or heard about any transfers to United which aren't receiving media saturation? Nothing. The only one I had a little bit of an inkling on was Yoro. Jed's Dead Baby says, started a Paddock save on Football Manager yesterday. All fake players, though. Ronnie's in the game, so I signed him. He'll fucking annoy you by coming short for the ball all the time. The Anonymous Nobody says, bookies have City more likely to go down than to win the league. Fucking hell. How do you avoid FFP with 9-year contracts? We don't anymore because they've made them illegal. On that front, listen, just a bit of an announcement. It sort of came about organically today. If you are a member, I will be giving you some information about this. But if you're a member that's bought one of the Paddock shirts, please wear it and get yourself down to the home game on Saturday, the 17th of August. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff. We are at home to Wigan. And we're going to get in there from 12 and have a bit of a members day. So obviously we are a fan-owned club and our members mean the fucking world to us, and we actually value and input and take notice of our members' input. So we want our members to get down and get involved with the kit launch and also the photographs that'll go on the website and everything, because it isn't just about the players, it's about all of us. So if you are a member, get yourselves down for that. We're opening the doors at Hyde from 12 to get yourselves in, and we want as many people there for the photographs as possible because it looks better when we do that. Bring banners, bring scarves, bring fucking flares. Let's have it off completely. And we beat Wigan 10-0 last year. I don't think they're going to be quite as bad this year, but it should be a good old fucking piss up. And I don't actually know United have got that weekend. Are we the Friday game? Let's have a look. Yeah, we are the Friday game against Fulham. So United aren't even playing. So if you're in the area for the United game on the Friday night, then come get in the mix with what's going on the Saturday the 17th, 3 o'clock kickoff. Did Rio tip me off about the Ronaldo return? Paddock was suspiciously ready for the announcement in the studio. So we had, with 5, we had Ronaldo in a City shirt done at like 11 o'clock on the night before. I can't remember what day it was that it all came about. I feel like it was Thursday, Friday, but I might be wrong on that. And then Rio was being real fucking weird in the group about what was going on. And then, yeah, we got a bit of an early one. because we still didn't know what was going on, and he's on his way for a medical. I think the medical was in Portugal, and I went, for who though? And he said United. We actually had the CCTV of me because I was just sat in there when I got a phone call and I fucking jumped up. But it's a bit of a fucking mad one. Andrew says Paddock Members Day includes Steve hosting a tutorial on how to efficiently throw mayonnaise on all 4 walls of one room in one motion. I cannot confirm or deny that, but it will be the first game back that I'm not banned for. I've missed the last 2 fucking games. We're playing a week on Tuesday at home at Hyde, but I can't fucking go. So it's one of those. Brian says, yeah, opening weekend of the Premier League. Yep, so that's when we're doing it. If you can get yourselves down, get yourselves down. Robert says it might be a case of walking away from deals this year to set the precedent that we won't overpay for players. Yeah, I think that wouldn't be a bad idea, to be honest with you, because in the past we absolutely have overpaid for players, and it's really fucking cost us, hasn't it? Otis says, can't wait to be able to say our midfield is stacked. If we sign him, I don't think we're going to sign him. It's one of them we're throwing out there, isn't it? Old Trafford TV says Casemiro and Sancho doesn't look good for our dressing room. Ineos should be proactive and sell them both. The thing is, it's hard to just fucking sell players. They're under contract. You have to find someone that wants them to come in. What would be a good season for Ahmad in terms of goals and assists? 15 combined, 8 and 7, 10 and 5, something like that. I could try replacing Red Bull with Celsius for a no-sugar caffeine if available in the UK. Listen, I am 18 days in with no Red Bull, which, for those who saw how much Red Bull I was putting away, I didn't get the shakes, I wasn't getting heart palpitations, I was getting none of that shit with it. I just figured that, it's probably not the best fucking thing for me to be rocking. So I do need to quit at some point. I bit the bullet and I quit, and this works. So I'm 18 days in. I actually had like a week without this because I ran out of it while I was in America. I took it with me to America to try and keep it going, and I ran out of it in America. I bought some like pre-workout. It tasted like Parma Violets, and I couldn't fucking have them. So I got back in the mix with this, and nutrition, everything's going fucking swimming, man. Where did I get my Everyday Patriot shirt? I'm not going to tell you, because I accidentally got it from a place that I shouldn't have got it from. But my instructor that was on my shooting course that was on the other week, it's his brand. He's the one that's pushing it out. I didn't even know. So it's one of those. There's going to be some good stuff coming out with them. And I like it. And we'll do more on that a little bit later on. Callum says, I'm 21 days without a Monster, was drinking too many. Good on you. Good on you, mate, as well. It isn't good for you, is it? And ultimately, like, the caffeine, caffeine is caffeine. It's in tea, it's in coffee. It's not ideal to be having it, but I don't think it's the end of the world. For me, the Red Bull, it was the fucking sugar, man. And I never could, I could never really fuck with the sugar-free Red Bulls. My wife drinks those, but they taste like washing up liquid to me. They just taste fucking all sorts of wrong. So it's one of them. Brian says, would Berge, Amrabat and Rabiot be in a cheap way to raise the level of the floor of the squad, at least until we have the money to buy players that improve the starting 11? Not sure. It should, theoretically it would, yeah. And it obviously prevents us completely capitulating due to injuries, but also, yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Did I lose any pounds when I gave up the Red Bull? I'm £9 down. So it's one of them. That could be a combination of things. Where all the paddock hosts, hey Steve, are all the paddock hosts co-owners of the club? Yes, they are, yeah. Everyone who owns, is a member of Stretford Paddock is an owner of Stretford Paddock, and everybody gets the same amount of voting as I get. Simple as that. Ash says, I'm on 2 monsters a day at this point when in the office. It's the no-sugar ones, but they're still terrible for you. Yeah. Stephen says, Monster and Red Bull can strip paint off metal, just to put it in perspective. They're not good, are they? They're not good for you. No one's sitting around in a fucking circle going, I tell you what, Red Bull's absolutely fucking great for you. So, I needed to get off it. So, Thrill says £9 is a lot. £9 is a lot, especially as that was in 4 days. Now, I think that was probably, everyone knows that carbohydrates hold 3 times their weight in water, right? So if you have 100 grams of carbohydrates, you can hold up to 300 grams of water in within that carbohydrate, or it can activate a way of holding it. So I think what happened is, as soon as I got off that much sugar, because my diet's actually really fucking good, it's just destroyed and torpedoed by having like fucking a lot of Red Bull, at least fucking 4 a day, right? So with them gone, obviously there's calories in those that I'm now not having. And it's certainly not £9 of body fat. It's going to be a lot of water and maybe, a pound or 2 of body fat, but it's all good. Ruben says, kicked out processed sugars from my diet 3 months ago. It's been a revelation. What's interesting is I don't feel as tired, weirdly, without the Red Bull. I think I was getting crashes with it. I feel just quite fucking even keel. My sleep routine's not back to normal yet. I'm still fucking struggling to get to sleep at night, but that's more to do with jet lag than anything else, I think. CTB says, why not just substitute energy drinks for coffee? Don't like coffee. Ajar says, thoughts on the injuries we're being hit with again? I mean, I did cover that earlier. Have a look at that there. Robert says, if we do manage to get the licked in, we could play 3 at the back for the first few games until we get fit players to play how Ten Hag wants. I don't think he'll teach them. He's already sort of given his cards away, hasn't he, by saying he didn't want to teach multiple ways of playing like that. Brolic says, you just lost a bunch of water weight, my friend. Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain. I'm well aware of that, but it's better, isn't it? Better to be not carrying it around than to be carrying it around. Chronic says, did I get a t-shirt from an unofficial place or from Jay? From unofficial place, but it's going to be launching properly pretty soon, I think. I ended up with samples, essentially. Nathan says, have I seen the pods exposing clubs under PSR pressure using academy sale loopholes between each other to boost the bottom line? I saw it. It's quite obvious what's going on, but while it's technically not illegal, it's legal, innit? And as much of a piss take as that is, there's not a lot you can do about it this window. They might close that loophole next year, but I'm not sure how you can prove that you didn't want to sign that player and that you didn't want to buy that player off them. It's a bit fucked, innit? Brett says Saner Berge was better in every state except scoring goals last season than McTominay. I disagree. I actually don't think he progresses the fucking ball anywhere near as well as McTominay either, to be honest with you. Omar says, do I think they should put a bid in for Tad just to mess with Bayern? That would be an interesting tactic, wouldn't it? And I wouldn't mind United being a little bit more fuck-about-y with that, with people, because we don't seem to do the dark arts like that, do we? And it'd be nice for us to do that. Or maybe that's, when you piss a club off, that removes the opportunity for you to do any sort of sales with them in the future. Maybe that's one, isn't it? Sean says, problem with life is anything that's nice isn't good for you and wish people would calm down and realise that United project isn't a one summer window and hope you're good, big man. Correct, mate, yeah. Just tuned in. What's for tea today? Fucking salad. Told you. I'd be happy with Berg if he was a signing with Ugarte. I still wouldn't be happy with him, to be honest. Do they still do the 5-hour energy shots? Those are the shit that'll give you cancer in an afternoon. I've never fucked with that. They don't look like a good idea, do they? Righty then, I'm going to wrap it up. Cheers for tuning in. Listen, there'll be all sorts of other stuff coming out. If you've not seen it already, go check out the Anton Stack video that we did from this morning. I think he's a very viable option for us. I'd like to know your thoughts on that video. Otherwise, take it easy. And if you are a Paddock member, see if you can make the arrangements to get yourself over for that. We're going to do a bit of a members day on the 17th and a bit of a mix with the players and the fans and that. So before I go, Chronic Math says, what were the biggest motivations or lessons I learned from training with Jay? And those GBRS guys seem insane. Yeah, so we did a combat shooting course, which I think they've had to change the name to Carbine Fundamentals course because the police said they didn't like the name. I think I learned a lot. I think some of the stuff is going to have to be on the course if you want to do the course and figure it out. A lot of it was stuff I'd never learned. There is army shooting, And ranges in the army are fucking boring, but doing ranges with Jay, doing it how the SAS do it, and doing it with, you know, the way that GBRS do it. If you go online, you'll see what GBRS are up to, and you'll see Jay doing, I think if you search GBRS Universal Standards, you'll see what we were doing. And basically we got into the habit of doing all of those presentations from compress ready, high ready, low ready, ready. And then hitting all the different drill targets. So Bill drill, Mozambique drill, you know, free body two head, multiple targets. Andrew says, I don't mean JJ like Baldhead Parker. No, there's a guy called Jay who is potentially the best, or certainly the most qualified CQB instructor on the fucking face of this earth. And he's a fucking good lad. And I learned a lot from him, and I really enjoyed the course. If you've not seen it, go and check my Instagram out for some of the photos. I'm just waiting on some of the video, but there's that many people's faces that need blurring out. The video's taken a little bit of a while to come through. But I did enjoy the course, learned a lot on the course, and I would like to continue to learn some stuff. And if you get the opportunity to like, when I put my post up on there, if you want to learn how to shoot, I definitely recommend going learning how to shoot with Jay, because there might not be anybody better in the world. Like, and I don't like to do hyperbole. You know, when it's not my place to tell you his background. There couldn't be a more qualified person, and I'm talking not just British Special Forces, but American Special Forces. He is totally fucking different, and literally the top of the food chain. It's like learning how to fucking shoot from Marco van Basten or fucking Rude or someone like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's one of those. What's my Insta name? Mr. Stephen Howson. Anyways, I am leaving now, but stay tuned to the IRL channel, because there'll be some stuff looking at that. Otherwise, take it easy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.